They whisper, "If you ever feel unseen eyes watching you in the darkness, run as fast as you can. Because those who encounter the Watcher in the dark, never return." It was just another Friday night for a group of college friends. They had been hanging out at their favorite diner, laughing and joking about their plans for the weekend. As the night grew late, someone suggested a dare to walk down Shadowmere Road after midnight. The abandoned stretch of road on the outskirts of town had long been the subject of local urban legends. People claimed it was haunted by a mysterious entity known only as the Watcher. Most of the friends laughed it off as silly superstition, but a few exchanged nervous glances, having grown up hearing whispered warnings about that road. Still, none wanted to seem like a coward in front of the others. So as the clock struck midnight, the group of 6 friends piled into 2 cars and drove out to where the pavement met gravel at the start of Shadowmere Road. The full moon cast an eerie glow as they stepped out onto the deserted road. Tall trees loomed on either side, their gnarled branches reaching towards the sky like bony fingers. An unnatural stillness hung in the air, no chirping crickets or rustling leaves. Just silence. "I don't like this," whispered Megan, wrapping her arms around herself. "Maybe we should go back." "Don't be such a baby," teased her boyfriend Jake. "It's just an old road. Nothing to be scared of." But even as the words left his mouth, the streetlights lining the road began to flicker and sputter. One by one, they winked out, plunging the group into near-total darkness. Only the faint moonlight remained to illuminate their path. "Okay, that was creepy," muttered Chris, pulling out his phone to use as a flashlight. "Must be a power surge or something." The friends huddled closer together as they continued walking. The gravel crunched beneath their feet, seeming unnaturally loud in the oppressive silence. Then another sound reached their ears, the slow, steady rhythm of footsteps echoing from somewhere in the darkness ahead. "Hello?" called out Sarah nervously. "Is someone there?" No response came, but the footsteps continued, growing neither louder nor softer. It was as if whoever or whatever was making them was keeping perfect pace with the group. Suddenly, Megan let out a blood-curdling scream. "Look, over there." The others whirled around, following her trembling finger. There, floating in the inky blackness between the trees, were 2 glowing red eyes. They seemed to stare directly at the group, unblinking and filled with malevolent hunger. "Run!" yelled Jake, grabbing Megan's hand and sprinting back the way they had come. The others didn't need to be told twice. They took off after the couple, hearts pounding in their chests. But as they ran, Chris felt an icy hand brush against the back of his neck. He spun around, coming face to face with a tall, impossibly thin figure shrouded in shadows. Before he could even cry out, tendrils of darkness wrapped around him, and he vanished without a trace. The remaining friends didn't realize Chris was gone until they reached the relative safety of their parked cars. As they caught their breath, the town clock began to toll the hour. With each resonant chime, the darkness seemed to press in closer around them. 1.2.3. Sarah glanced around frantically. "Wait, where's Chris?" 4.5.6. "He was right behind us," said Jake, his voice rising in panic. 7.8.9. A cold wind whipped through the trees, carrying whispers that sounded almost like laughter. 10. 11.12. As the final toll faded away, Megan let out a strangled gasp. Where Sarah had been standing just moments before, there was now only empty air. It was as if she had been erased from existence. Jake fumbled for his car keys with shaking hands. "We have to get out of here now." But when he turned back to the others, his blood ran cold. Both Megan and their other friend, Tyler, were gone as well. Jake was completely alone on the dark road. Choking back a sob, he sprinted for his car. He could feel unseen eyes boring into his back as he ran. Just as his fingers closed around the door handle, He heard it, the slow, steady footsteps drawing ever closer. Jake wrenched the door open and dove inside, slamming it shut behind him. He jammed the key into the ignition, praying the engine would start. After what felt like an eternity, the car roared to life. Jake stomped on the gas pedal, tires squealing as he peeled away from Shadowmere Road. His heart was still racing as he sped down the empty streets back towards town. Every shadow seemed to hide some lurking threat. Jake kept checking his rearview mirror, half expecting to see glowing red eyes staring back at him. Finally, the familiar lights of Main Street came into view. Jake let out a shaky breath, feeling like he could cry from relief. He was safe. He had escaped whatever horror lurked on that cursed road. But as he slowed to a stop at a red light, movement in his peripheral vision made him freeze. Slowly, Jake turned to look out the passenger side window. There, standing motionless on the sidewalk, were his missing friends. Their eyes glowed with an unholy red light as they stared at him unblinking. Jake screamed and slammed on the gas, heedless of the red light. He had to get away, had to escape this nightmare. But no matter how fast he drove or how many turns he took, everywhere he looked, he saw those glowing eyes watching him. His friends, or the things wearing their faces, seemed to be everywhere at once. In his panic, Jake didn't see the sharp curve in the road ahead until it was too late. He swerved, tires skidding across wet pavement. The world spun crazily around him as the car flipped over and over. When it finally came to a stop, Jake hung upside down, held in place by his seatbelt. Blood trickled into his eyes from a gash on his forehead. Through the shattered windshield, he could make out a tall, slender figure approaching the wreckage. Icy terror gripped his heart as a freezing hand reached out from the shadows, and then there was only silence. In the days that followed, search parties combed Shadowmere Road and the surrounding woods, but no trace was ever found of the 6 missing college students. Their cars sat abandoned where they had left them that fateful night, covered in a layer of frost despite the summer heat. Since then, people believe that anyone who dares to challenge the night will become part of the Watcher in the Dark. Those unseen eyes are still waiting, always watching for their next prey. So if you're re-driving down a lonely road late at night and feel a chill run down your spine, don't look back, because the Watcher might just be waiting for you. Would you dare to walk alone in the dark, knowing the Watcher is watching you? Leave a comment. I saw the Watcher in the dark, if you're brave enough. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss the next chilling horror story.